Aloha, collective. Thank you so much for joining me today on Unmasked Universe. So happy that you're here today on this beautiful day. Hope you're having an awesome day like I am. If you don't know this channel, you've never been here. My name is Storm, and I am a psychic medium, and I am here to do your reading today. So, grab a seat, join me today for a beautiful reading. We're going to see what's happening in the collective and maybe what you need to do or work through, or maybe what's coming up for you. Remember that these are general collective readings. They are not one-on-one readings. So if the message doesn't seem to fit your story, don't force it to fit, okay? Leave it for who it belongs to. Not all messages are for everybody, so please use your discernment in when you are watching readings and in the receiving of these messages. And otherwise, let's get right into it, okay? I am feeling some high energy today, so I'm pretty excited for what's going on in the collective. So we're going to start off with asking what is happening in the collective right now. I've already pre-shuffled all of my cards and called in my spirit team, spirit guides. So, cornucopia, that's a good sign. What's happening in the collective right now? Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. The thinking man. Okay. What's happening in the collective right now, Holy Spirit? Attachment. Okay, and we'll get one more card, please. Goddess of the Moon. Okay, I'm just going to revise my understanding of this last card, Goddess of the Moon, before I begin, because sometimes I read it as is, but I know that in this deck it has a different meaning than tarot. And um, yeah, so I want to get a little bit more about what that is about. I know it's about intuition. Yeah, this card is all about intuition, the ability to receive insights from your soul's point of view. Receiving the card upright tells you that you have the power to get intuitive information on all types of issues, and now is the time to use it. Yeah, so that seemed to be the most relevant part that I needed to go after I heard. So, all right. So we've got cornucopia, and then we've got thinking man. We've got attachment, and then we've got goddess of the moon. All right, Spirit, what would you like to channel through with these cards here? So the first card here, cornucopia, we all understand this as abundance, right? Fall is when people generally um, dig up the land and dig up the plants that they've planted, and they, harvest. It's harvest time. They receive all of their abundance. And so when I see the thinking man here, I'm really pulling in this energy of there is somebody and this may not apply to all of you, but there is somebody in some of your guys' energy, guys, gals. In some of your energy, there is a man, a male energy, doesn't necessarily have to be a man, but a masculine energy who has been, I'm seeing him looking at this crystal and adoring it. And so there is somebody who is in your energy, in a masculine energy, who is possibly viewing you, or has been thinking heavily about you, or has been um, and you can take this two ways. This could be somebody that you have never met before, because I just heard like this could be somebody from your past or somebody from your future whom you are now aligning with. So this is going to resonate differently for different people. That's why we're getting two streams here now. So for those of you who have done a lot of the inner work, shedding old past versions of yourself, been doing the healing work, been forgiving, been letting go, detaching. We see attachment here, detaching from a lot of the things that have been coming up for you, maybe past hurts, traumas, pains, moving forward with your life. Taking action on your life, learning to balance out all the aspects of who you are. So for a lot of you, I shouldn't say a lot of you, sorry, I just got corrected. For some of you, this could be a high level soulmate who has their eye on you. However, even though they see this cornucopia with you, they see essentially that you are abundant, that you are abundant in all ways. So emotionally abundant, mentally abundant, physically abundant. Your creative life force energy is abundant, right? Pardon me. They are working on some sort of attachments themselves. So they are still chained to something. You can see in this card here that she is chained to the post. And so he sees this abundance and this future, this masculine energy. Flip the roles as you need. So you can flip it if you are a male, then this may be a feminine energy for you. But they see a future with you. They see essentially everything with you, that you're the full package, your wifey or husband material. They want it all with you. However, there is some level of attachment here, and some mask is needing to be lifted, or some part of their old identity needs to be shed. Or this could also mean that there is someone or something that they are still bonded to or chained to. So this could be anything toxic. It could be a toxic person or a relationship or even a family member. It could be maybe a toxic job, toxic way of thinking. Because we've got this thinking man, I'm getting a lot that he's probably up, or this person I keep getting corrected by spirit. Sorry, spirit. This person, whomever it is for you, may be up in their head a lot, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and also trying to figure out how to heal or detach from whatever aspect of this that's going on in their life. I'm getting that it is some aspect of them that is shrouded somewhat in darkness, which is why this intuitive card has come out. There's an aspect of self that's not seen at this time, that's potentially hiding in deeper levels that uh, they're not really sure how to get to, if that makes sense. And so their intuition um, is going to need to kick in for this to actually for them to actually see the truth of what the attachment is. Now, for some of you, this may actually be you. you may be the one who is up in your mind, going back and forth between, um, I heard abundance. So between belief structures, I'm hearing, between your ability to stay grounded and stay in an abundant mindset. So, limiting beliefs come up with that, limiting ideas or thoughts, negative thoughts. These are old parts of an identity. And I mean, if you're a female watching this, this could still resonate with you as a female. But this person here, regardless of gender, has an attachment to some negative belief system or some negative way of perceiving the world or believing, or maybe it's a lack of trust or lack of faith based on experiences that you've had. And so you're being asked to tap into your intuition. Your intuition is what's going to allow you to be guided out of whatever situation this is, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a unhealthy dynamic within yourself or with another person or at a place such as a job. Cornucopia is lined up, your abundance, you are already abundant, but I'm seeing that there is this attachment to something unhealthy, which is preventing you from fully harnessing everything that is available to you. And it's there, but it's going to require you to strengthen your intuition and to rely on your intuition. So perhaps for some of you right now, you're going through something that you need to be paying a little more attention to. Um, Now, I'm hearing details. There could be specific details that need to be looked over, reviewed, analyzed with clarity, though, and a sound mind. And when you are up in your head, um, that makes it really hard because your mind is distracted. Your mind is clouded by thoughts and by perhaps negative thinking spirals or negative words towards yourself or negative feelings about a situation or even about a person. So I'm hearing that in order for you to analyze whatever information is coming to you, because the divine is trying to give you a download. The divine is trying to give you a heads up, right? This moon is above her head and she's holding it. And they're trying to allow this download, this message to enter through your crown and to be received, but you have to be receptive. And so there was an energy of a little bit of angst and anxiety coming through while being in this position of being up in your head, thinking too much. And that in itself is an attachment. It's an unhealthy attachment to a way of being, right? So that may be the issue itself, or there may be deeper issues that are triggering this pattern within you, and it's being shown to you so that you can get yourself grounded and out of that state and allow this download to come through because Spirit is really trying to work with you, but also to illuminate something bigger. So there may be a bigger picture behind the scenes that's going on that you're unaware of because you are getting a little bit tripped up in your own mind at this time. The other thing that I was perceiving from these cards that Spirit wanted me to share is that for some of you, um, there is there is an abundance of love, and you've been working on self-love and understanding what the concept of self-love is, right? What does that mean? What does it mean to love yourself fully? And for those of you who came from backgrounds where love was a broken, skewed version of what love really is, it's really hard to understand and to pull from that experience because you've never had that experience, right? And so, this in itself, this message that is coming out for those of you who resonate with this is that there is an abundance of love available to you. However, you have to be receptive to it, and your attachment to the old ways in which you're operating in the 3D are no longer going to serve you going forward in order to access the cornucopia of love that is available to you. So sometimes we need to make decisions based on gut feelings. Sometimes we need to make decisions that are right in that moment. Sometimes we need to make decisions that are a little more planned out. But point is that your shadow is affecting your ability to perceive safety and love at this time. And so it's making it difficult for you to get out of your mind and the thinking and the planning and the um, exaggerated, maybe skewed ways in which you believe things might play out for you, and to feel safe and loved, right? You may not feel safe or supported, and this darkness in this image is really demonstrating how these energies are creating a cloud of confusion for you. You're not able to access that clarity which the divine is trying to offer you. And so for some of you, this may be simply that you're needing um, to shift to gain a new perspective, a higher perspective on it, and to begin trusting in the divine, in that love that's available to you. But the only way that you're able to do that is to make space for that love to come in. And so, this whole idea of what is love, what does self love truly mean? What does putting myself truly mean, or myself first truly mean? Asking yourself these questions will help you with any attachments that you have. How, like what are boundaries? What do they look like? What would be loving and kind to me while setting boundaries? Like, are there people in my environment, or are there situations that are happening in my life that are reflecting back to me that there is no love, there is no care, there is no reciprocity, there is no balance, there is no generosity. You know, anything that's coming up from your shadow may be skewed by the pain itself, when it needs to be processed in order to feel safe and to feel this abundance and to feel this love. And so, again, tapping into that gut feeling that you have, or the the intuition that you have based on the situation is called for at this time, whatever it is that you're dealing with. Um, and I'm seeing like there's a decision to be made, regardless of what stream of consciousness you resonate with most. There is a decision that needs to be made, but you need to have illumination. So you need a broader perspective. You need a clear mind, and you need to detach from whatever it is that is chaining you or holding you back from receiving this cornucopia and from receiving divine intervention or um, divine downloads and intuition at this time. So, all right, thank you, Spirit. Go with this deck. Oops. Holy Spirit, what does the viewer? Whoop. Okay. I was going to say, what does the viewer need to know about this situation, please? Oh, okay. Do you want me to take all of those? These two on the left, okay. All right, and are there any more that you would like to come out? Not for now. Okay. Okay, so the first card that we got out was Judgment. It says, don't be too quick to count someone out. Be open and give them a fair chance. So, for those of you who have love on the horizon, now this person may be mirroring you, may be going through very similar things as you. It could also be somebody who has experienced a lot of heartache and hardship as well, which is why they're having difficulty in detaching from this pattern of behavior or whatever it is that they are attached to, because there may be some sort of insecurity there, right? And so for some of you, this person has like sees it all, but they also have some sort of conditioning behind the scenes that is preventing them from moving forward, from taking action. They may be judging the situation based on one of your factors, such as maybe it could be your finances may not be in order, or maybe there is some aspect, like these are things they might be questioning, or they may not even know this, right? This may not even be somebody you're talking to. So they may be questioning whether or not you have healed from your past relationship. They may be questioning if you have attachments, and vice versa. This can be going the other way. So when you meet this person, or if you've already met them, you may have or you may want to judge them based on how they are appearing or how they are behaving. But the thing to understand here, and if you're a cross watcher here, then welcome, this would apply to you. The thing to understand here is that um, your level of discernment along this journey does begin to grow, it does begin to strengthen, and for whomever it is that I'm talking to about a future relationship, you should be, if you've been on this path for a while and you've been truly healing and doing the work, then you should have a high degree of discernment at this point, which would allow you to really feel or understand or see past the facade, right? The mask that they may be coming forward in. And most people who have been really hurt, who are stepping into any kind of new relationship, may not want to be vulnerable right off the bat. They may wear a mask out of fear, maybe of being rejected, or maybe out of fear of getting hurt, right? Because that's generally what causes the mask to go up. It's a protective mechanism, but that does not mean that that mask will stay there, right? But of course, you do have discernment, and generally, like if you're at the beginning stages of your journey, you may not have developed that discernment, that level of discernment. It's a spiritual gift which is given to you by spirit when you take the hero's journey, when you leave behind all things that are no longer healthy for you, that are damaging you, that are hurting you, um, when you start cutting everything out and everyone out of your life that is against you in some way, shape, or form, or hurting you in some way, shape, or form, this is when discernment starts to develop. So it allows you to discern what's healthy for you and what's not, as well as at first it's like people and situations, and then it develops into the discernment that you discern for yourself what's healthy for me, what's not healthy for me, and that allows you to see the patterns as they come up. It allows you to intuit things as they come in. All of the information becomes clearer. So it might be murky if you're just at the beginning stages of this, right? So this wouldn't apply to anybody at the beginning stages, because you know if you are still attached to another person who's toxic, then a relationship would be the worst idea to get back into immediately, right? So there needs to be a level of abstinence and a level of reclusiveness so that you can heal yourself properly before you can attract a high level soulmate. So you may still, either of you, fall into this category where you may want to judge the other based on how they are showing up, but they're showing up with a mask because they're not sure. And there's some insecurities, and this might be you showing up in the mask. There are underlying insecurities because you have been hurt in the past and you don't want to be too vulnerable, and that's okay. And that's the thing. You should get to know people slowly, right? You should not be rushed. They should not rush you in any capacity. And that is something that you learn once you leave these toxic relationships behind is that, um, anybody who needs to tell you who they are and rush that upon you, it has a lot to hide and generally are not the people that they are portraying themselves to be. So it's really important that you make accurate and decisive judgments on each other based on slowly getting to know each other. And through that process, then that will you'll both start to feel more comfortable as you begin to see how the other responds, or you won't, right? So you'll either become more comfortable and open up slowly, or you will, you may, you know, see them as they are and decide that's not for you. But regardless, you're being asked for whomever this resonates with to not to allow judgment in until you actually know the person somewhat or you start to get to know them, and vice versa. This person here may be judging something about you, which may not even be true. Because oftentimes, when people don't have the information, their mind gets really active and then they get up in their heads about it. And then they just start making up stories or filling in the gaps. And it may not even be true. They're just making things up. And this can be anybody, right? So, for those of you that that applies to, um, yeah, that's what it is. So for the other people, though, um, there is a there is a judgment on a situation that needs to occur, which is why, why you need the clarity of your mind and you need your intuition. You need to hone into your intuition at this time because whatever it is coming through might be hard to spot or tricky to see. It might be worded a certain way. Pay close attention to contracts, pay close attention to anything you have to sign. Go over it several times, but make sure you're doing it from an intuitive and clear head, tuning into your body, tuning out of your mind and into your heart, and allowing yourself to truly absorb what it is that's coming in. So, whatever it is that is coming in, for some of you, there is a judgment call that needs to happen. And this may alter a lot of things for both you and whomever else this might involve. And so you need to be thoughtful. You need to give careful consideration as to how this may affect others, right? Yeah. Okay. Then we've got fear of loss. Okay. So this fear of loss is definitely causing this, the overthinking, the overanalyzing, the overprocessing. So there is some aspect of, and this resonates with all three streams, there is some aspect of fear here of losing something. So whether you're fearful of um, losing an opportunity for a relationship, or you're fearful of maybe losing yourself in a relationship or your freedom, or you are fearful of losing what else would they be fearful of losing, Spirit? I heard your autonomy. Oh, your ability to make moves, security, resources, balance. Yeah, so there is some level of whatever this decision is that's coming through or whatever is causing you to be up in your head right now. It's because there is a fear of loss that is involved, and this is what's causing um, perhaps a lack mentality or fear of missing out or a fear of, oh, I just heard decision fatigue, a fear of making the wrong decision. So, but what's exhausting you more is being up in your head instead of listening to your intuition, which is trying to tell you something about this situation. Really important. And it's trying to navigate you through this situation, which is why it's so important to figure out what the attachments are, and to be able to listen to spirit, because there is a way to move through this situation without losing yourself, your energy, or losing something, or even an opportunity. If it is a person, a high level soulmate, you should not be living in fear of losing an opportunity for a relationship, because if you are not healed and ready, that relationship is just going to return to the same dynamics that have already played out, and those outdated ways of being, which is not what you want. What's for you will not pass you by. I just heard. So I wouldn't worry about losing the opportunity with a person, because if that person moves on, then the universe is going to organize somebody else who is also your match and maybe even better. Um, and another high level soulmate, right? But it's based on the energy that you're projecting out into the world. And so, whatever it is that you are scared of losing, this may be for some of you abundance. You may have a fear that you are going to lose abundance or stability in some way, shape, or form, and it's causing you to be up in your head and be stuck in negative thinking, which is not going to help you at this time. What's going to help you is to be getting grounded and getting into your body so that you can witness what your life is truly about, and so that you can tune into your intuition. And that's going to be your guiding light through this maze. All right. And then the last one we have, what does the viewer need to know about this situation? Not being you. So you're trying to project a perfect image, but it's not really you. Be yourself. Yeah. So that seems very fitting based on all of these different threads. I mean, if you're not, if you're showing up with a mask on, it's going to be really hard, especially if somebody else is showing up with a mask on too in a relationship or even a friendship. It's going to be really hard to develop anything beyond that. And being your authentic self means not creating relationships out of trauma bonds, not creating relationships out of your past stories. Trying to heal past those things will create strong foundations, but being authentic means that you're not wearing these masks. You're not portraying yourself as the victim any longer. You are not, and that doesn't mean that if you're victimized that it's okay. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that you've healed enough that you can shed all of these versions of yourself that led you into these situations with unhealthy people and unhealthy dynamics to begin with. So, not being you is obstructing, or sorry, not obstructing, not being you may have the potential for causing further dissatisfaction later on. Well, it definitely will. But also, not being you also comes down to the ways in which we perceive the world, the ways in which we understand reality as it is. And again, if we're not shedding these masks, if we're holding on to old attachments, then we're not allowing our true self to be integrated. And that is our higher self being integrated into us every time that we shed a piece of ourselves that no longer serves our future. And that we no longer want to carry with us, the baggage, um, the programming, the old beliefs, the limiting beliefs, whatever it is, societal, family, religious, whatever it is for you. The choice every day is yours to make a new decision. You can choose to start letting go and making space, letting go of any negative or toxic attachments, and making space for this light to come in, for you to reintegrate with your higher self more and more and more, or you can choose to live in these toxic paradigms or these toxic patterns or behaviors or ways of being or even thought patterns, right? But really, Spirit's saying like the choice is totally up to you. It's your call at this point. But you do need to be able to get to this point so that you can understand what's truly happening in this situation, whether it is a relationship with another person, present or past, because that came up at the beginning, which I didn't channel into the past, but I wasn't called to. So there could be an unhealthy attachment to somebody um, from your past or who needs to be in your past. There could be an unhealthy attachment to, or for this person who might be coming into your life, they may still have an unhealthy attachment to someone too. Regardless of what it is, though, it's time to make a decision on what it is that you want to do going forward. And there is a monumental decision I'm hearing that does need to be heard and made. But yeah, again, you have to be able to ground yourself and hear that, to tune into your intuition, tune into what would be healthiest for you, what would benefit not just the other person, maybe it won't benefit them. What would benefit you? I mean, you need to put yourself first. You need to think about what is healthiest for you, not what you're attached to, but what is healthiest for you and possibly for others, right? So sometimes, we need to make decisions that are tough, and it does require a bit of loss sometimes, right? We're losing parts of ourselves in order to figure out who we truly are beneath that mask. And we may be losing material things, but it's only making way. The universe only takes away things from your life so that you can be given better things. So it's always a way of just making more space for better to come into your life, better opportunities, better states of abundance, and better access to abundance and resources, love, actual love, right? Actual friendship. The universe is always making room for that, and if you don't make the room yourself, then the universe generally comes in and does it for you because it's time. And that can be more difficult and more challenging for sure. That can feel like your whole life is getting ripped out from underneath your feet all at once. So sometimes it's better for you to be able to be in control and make those decisions for yourself. Okay. All right. So I guess let's move on to this one. I'm gonna say what's obstructing the viewer right now, Spirit? Holy Spirit. Oh, private relationship. Oh. Holy Spirit, what is obstructing the viewer right now? Big apology. Okay. What is obstructing the viewer right now? Okay. I'm hearing you get a few of these, so we're just we're gonna go a little faster through these ones I heard. So, what is obstructing the viewer right now? Bank failure. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ah, okay. So we have private relationships. So this could mean that there was a third party involved. This could mean that you potentially had another relationship with somebody else. So this is referring to potentially the experience that the person coming into your life has had, He or she may have been cheated on, or you may have been cheated on, and there may have been a third party involved. And so that may have caused a level of pain that makes you want to wear that mask or run away from the idea of love or the idea of making a decision on that or being open to it. Or maybe even um, the betrayal itself is limiting you in some way, shape, or form. So that is causing an issue. For the rest of you, um, this could be a third party who was involved in some aspect of your life on this path. Now, that doesn't have to mean between two people romantically. It could have been a friend who betrayed you. It could have been a group of people. It could have been at work. Could have been in your family. It could have been anywhere, really. People are karmic, right? Until they're not, until they get on the path. And so this may have caused a level of hesitancy, I just heard, in making certain decisions, or, oh, a pattern of wanting to run away from situations when it seems to get tough and you seem to get lost in your mind. You may have this tendency to avoid because there is a fear of loss based on the betrayals that you've experienced. So, this is going down to possibly an abandonment wound for some of you, okay? For others of you, what's obstructing you is fake people, fake apologies, uh, fake people. So maybe for some of you, this is about leaving certain situations or cutting ties with certain people or situations, and they may try to come in and love bomb you or in a very disingenuous way try to convince you to stay, or this may be putting you in two minds about the situation, right? So people who are toxic tend to play games. We do have getting played, manipulation, lies, and control. So people who are toxic tend to come in and play these games with you to try and manipulate you into believing that, there is love or there is friendship or there is something, worth preserving or working on. But in reality, this is just a manipulation. They want you to believe that there was love there so that you're back and forth in your own head, right? They want you to accept their apologies like you have in the past so that they can continue on in the same way, believing that you're the same person. But what it's going to take for whomever that message is for is to understand and see past with your intuition, see past the manipulation, the lies, and the control. Understand that this is just, these are all just tools for their gain, which is your punishment, essentially, right? And so you're being asked to break this cycle at this time. Um, for others of you, there are aspects of money that have been coming through for a while. So, what's obstructing you at this time that's getting you up in your head is possibly your finances being in the dumps. Um, and that resonates with your emotions. If your emotions are all over the place or unregulated, and your mind is all over the place and you're lost in your mind, then your financial situation is going to be the same. So, for some of you, you may be on the verge of declaring bankruptcy or you're declaring bankruptcy. And so you're not feeling this cornucopia, even though it's now available to you because you're believing in the past conditioning, right? You're believing in how it's always been. And you're not seeing that this is here for you to access because there is some sort of attachment to some toxic attachment that needs to be let go of. And so, for those of you who are resonating with this, whatever it is that you fear you're going to lose, it is just, it's here. The stress, whatever financial stress this is, maybe you've lost a job, I heard. whatever this financial stress is, whatever you fear losing, this is just coming up to show you something, show you a bigger truth, like a bigger picture, and that you're really not losing anything, but it may require you to shift your perspective on it or shift the way that you see things, right? So, this, even if you were at this point of bank failure, which is, bankruptcy, um, if you've done the work, then the only thing that is being left between you and this abundance is your attachment to your old belief system about abundance. So you're blocking yourself from this abundance by focusing all your energy on this financial stress and on your negative attachments to the 3D reality and how it operates, instead of focusing on the abundance or what you're going to do with that abundance or how you're going to serve humanity and give back with that abundance or what you're wanting to create, right? So that is a big problem for a few of you here. Then we've got hater and envy. Okay. So interesting that these two come up. They come up together, I heard. So, the thing about being on this path, and everybody has the opportunity to be on this path. Even the most toxic of toxic people are given an opportunity. And generally, you are their final opportunity if it's a relationship, a close relationship. Quite often, you are their final opportunity to show the divine, show source, show God, whomever you like to call your creator, um, what they're really made of. And so they have the same opportunity at that point when you start to awaken themselves, especially if you've expressed your awakening and your side and your viewpoints of things, right? But if they choose not to and they choose the karmic path, then inevitably you're going to have envious haters, right? Envy is one of the seven deadly sins, and it is one of those things, if they can't, um, especially within a relationship, if you leave a very toxic relationship, quite often, if they are envious of you, then it's because you possess something that they believe they don't have. And so that envy can lead to hatred. Quite often it does. I'm going to put these down here. Lead to hatred. And inevitably, you will be at the receiving end of that, whether that is physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically. And, you know, this journey is about it's about the battle in itself, not just the battle with ourselves, but the battle with this energy, these entities that are attached to everybody. And these entities or these haters will always exist on the planet. But what's important to understand that um, is that you are in control of whether you allow these haters or this envy to affect you. So that's going to look different for each of your situations. There may be somebody who is envious that you're getting this high level relationship that is coming in. There may be somebody who is hating on you and giving you evil eye or sending evil eye, and envious that you are finally crossing that threshold into understanding how to attract and how to benefit and access your abundance. They may be envious of your spiritual gifts and abilities, which is why it's also important to tap into that, right? They may be envious of just about anything, right? It doesn't matter what it is. If they don't possess it, they want it, but they're not willing to do the work for it, I heard. So they don't get it. But you still have to decide how to protect yourself along this journey. And the first step is for most of us is cutting away all access to us by toxic people, period. And then we get to start working on ourselves and cutting out all of the toxic behaviors and attachments that we have within ourselves that were created in situations of conflict or competition or envy or hatred or whatever. Um, so there's always going to be these people. And even once you leave, there is a certain amount of time where you need to fight this within yourself, where you might have these emotions come up about other people's paths and you might be comparing yourself, right? And these are toxic attachments that you have that you need to work through. Or perhaps you need to, um, perhaps there's parts of yourself that you are angry with, or perhaps you don't enjoy, maybe you even feel hate towards. This could be projected towards another person for the experiences you've had. But when all of the veil is lifted and it all comes back down to the core, it is that we're angry with ourselves or with God or with the path that we chose before we came here that we decided to take, right? There's deep sadness there beneath the hate. So take this as this resonates for you. This could be another person, or this could be directed at yourself. And again, we all go through all these different stages, and part of it is what we direct at ourselves. And then even beyond that, you know, even after we've cut out a lot of the people, places, situations, and things from ourselves and from others, from having access to our energy or to us, we can still be psychically manipulated. We can still be psychically attacked, especially by some of the darker people, because they're often warlocks or wizards, as I was told by somebody, or dark practitioners, right? And so you still have to learn how to protect yourself. But as you begin to heal, the less protection you need to put on yourself, and the more awareness you have over situations that are trying to manipulate you and control you. And so, if there is some sort of psychic manipulation going on, then this might be what's putting you up in your head too. And you need to become aware of what's actually going on, because there may be some important thing that you're missing, or that an opportunity that you might actually miss. And don't be fearful of that, it'll come back around regardless. But there may be something, or there is something in all avenues in which we've explored today, that you need to pay particular attention to. And this thinking man may not be a high level soulmate, which is why discernment and your intuition is going to be very important, right? So the universe is going to send in people or situations that are going to reflect what you need to heal still. And so this could be a person, or even the energy of a person, or it could be a contract if you're in a divorce, that is trying to manipulate you in some way. And it's because they are envious of you. And I even heard for some of you, this could be your psychic gifts and abilities. And I think it was the last reading that Archangel Metatron came through with the third eye. So again, they may be trying to block your third eye or your crown chakra at this time. Because they are envious, and they can be doing this through spell work. They can be doing this uh, through witchcraft, through ritual, through, like, and what is spell work? It's speaking. It's saying words. It's saying negative words about a person, or sending out negative intentions with those words when they speak about a person, right? And that is like, why do we call it spelling? It's because in the original time in which, spells were created, that is, we refer to it as a way of creating a spell, right? It's an energy bond. And so words were used with intention. And in some cultures, there weren't a lot of words to communicate. And so when words were spoken, a lot of intention had to go behind those words. And so they all carry their own frequency and energy. And that can be a way of psychically attacking or manipulating you, right? There's many different ways, but whatever this is, there's something that you need to see here. And it could be that exact thing. It could be this, because it's what's obstructing you. And it could be this person who's sending this your way or who's trying to get into your life again. It could be through your dreams. Maybe you're having dreams where you're actually getting along, or dreams about person in your past or current being nice to you, giving you fake apologies. Maybe they're trying to get in or access one of your chakras, get beyond your boundaries. And so it's important to shore up your boundaries at this time, regulate your energy and your energetic field, get get really grounded so that you can understand where this energy is coming from. And if there is somebody physically coming into your life, you're being asked by spirit to actually use your discernment, your intuition to see past the veil. Okay. But for some of you, this has nothing to do with the high level soulmate, because again, not every part of this is going to resonate for each person. So that's why there are so many things coming through. All right, spirit, it's getting a little long here. What will benefit the viewer at this time? What will benefit the viewer at this time? What will benefit the viewer at this time, Holy Spirit? Oh, I just heard they may be trying to manipulate your psychic gifts and abilities, which is what's causing confusion for some of you. Because if they affect your crown chakra or your third eye chakra or both, but especially your crown, that can create confusion. So it's going to be really important to work with that chakra and energetically. Doesn't matter if you know Reiki or anything, anybody and everybody in the world is capable of doing energy work. It's the intention behind it. But balance out your crown chakra and do it frequently. Protect your crown chakra. Right. Somebody needed to hear that. What will benefit the viewer at this time, please, Holy Spirit? Go under the table for those. Okay. So we've got soothing waters, intention, clearing blockages, energetic hygiene, exactly what I was just talking about. So getting grounded, spiritual baths, spiritual hygiene, energy work, balancing your chakras, balancing your nervous system. All of those things are energetic hygiene, cleansing your house. If you use crystals, cleansing them more often and recharging them outside on the lawn in the sun if they are crystals that can be in the sun, otherwise by the moon, right? So this is really important because it seems to be that some of you in the collective are deeply under spiritual attack at this time. And it is because there is a sense by the other person or the entity or entities that are within that person, they sense you disconnecting on an energetic and spiritual level. And so uh, the person that they are connected with is informed to maybe act in specific ways. And so it's going to be really important going forward to protect your energy, to ensure your safety, physically, mentally, emotionally. That's going to really be dependent on what situation you're in. But it's like, um, how do I put this? If you're in the environment with the person, it's almost like they can smell that you've changed. It's that hypersensitive. Okay. If you are if you are disconnected with these people or this situation already, then energetically, like if you've been healing, you've been forgiving, then energetically, these entities will already be onto that because they can feel the disconnection, and so can the person. And so then psychic attacks tend to pick up at that time, energetic attacks as well. And then things might be being done, and that may not apply to all of you, but they may be intentionally doing things to create havoc in your life or confusion to get you to miss opportunities for abundance or for stepping through the threshold. So, whatever it is that they're trying to create confusion with, and from whatever situation this is, even if this is a high level soulmate who is feeling bonded in their respect, like they also need to ensure that they are clearing out those blockages, right? These attachments are the blocks. Whatever your whatever is causing suffering in your life, that is a block. That is an attachment, and it needs to be healed. Every time something comes up, all you need to do is focus on that and remove it and move on. And eventually a new one will come up. This is how we purify ourselves, right? So, whatever the attachment is, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional or spiritual, that's how we move forward. So, whether this is you or this is somebody else, or this is a spiritual attack, or maybe possibly with physical intentions, or this is an attempt to keep you in poverty, I heard. Ah, okay. Spirit just wanted me to say that there is one or two of you possibly in the collective who this bank failure may be due to other situations that are going on, and there's a lot of control around that. The person who you're dealing with, this could be at work, maybe you ran a business with somebody, or this could be in a relationship. They are trying to scam you in some sort of like some details of the contracts that you are signing or that are being presented. There's something that's being presented which is an attempt to try and scam you or manipulate you out of money and leave you in poverty, leave you impoverished. And you're being asked to be paying really close attention to those contracts that are coming through right now, so that you do not get manipulated and you do not lose access to the abundance that you deserve. And you're not asking for more, never ask for more than your fair share when you're leaving any kind of toxic business relationship, platonic relationship, or romantic relationship. But you can ask for fairness, and you can ask the universe for that fairness. And maybe ask for some extra divine assistance at this time so that you can get out of your emotions and detach from whatever is um, trying to manipulate you or cause you to be attached to something, or cause you to be in negative emotions about something, and allow your guides to guide you through this situation, to really view it with open and honest truths and eyes. I just heard your eyes need to be open because whatever's happening here is happening to, for some of you, to keep you in a lack mentality for the rest of your life, or to keep you physically in lack because they're trying to control you, and they believe that they can control you for the rest of their lives for some of you. So it's important, again, that you're doing all this jazz here, dipping your feet, your mind, your soul into these soothing waters and claim that. Claim that. Okay, and then we have elementals, dreamland, lore, otherworld, earth spirits. Oh, okay. All right. Elementals. Yeah. You know, I I'm gonna say something here. Not everybody works with all of the same benevolent. entities, or maybe you're not working with anyone. Maybe you're still trying to figure out, your intuition and your guides, and you're still trying to figure out all of that jazz. But elementals are coming through because they're they're here to assist you with this energy right now. And this is kind of they have wings. This is the energy of air. And air is notoriously bad with being in their minds, air signs, right? Of indecision and going back and forth, or being up in their minds and then being confused and not seeing the whole picture. So, for those of you who are open to working with elementals, which I do, then I would recommend calling on these earth spirits to help you bring clarity to this situation, because they've come through very specifically to clear the air so that you can get to the truth of the matter. Okay, so that's going to benefit all or a few of you in the collective, whoever wishes to utilize their help at this time. They're here for you. They're supporting you at this time. Okay. I'm just going to have some water and then we'll continue on. All right, Spirit. What will result for the viewer when they overcome this situation and these blocks? I know it's going to be a bit different for everybody, but what will result for the viewer when we overcome these blocks, please? And thank you, Holy Spirit. Ooh. Mhm. Oh, that one's trying to come out. Oh. Oh. I'm hearing a couple more. What will result for the viewer when they overcome these blocks? Oh, beauty. Mm. I also just heard know what you deserve. You're deserving of equity and fairness, and you're deserving of your share, I heard. You're deserving of love. Oh, appreciation. Do you want me to take this deceit card? Oh, okay. That was coming out with what I was just saying. You're deserving of all of the energy and the work that you've put into growing whatever it was that you're now separating from, whether that's a relationship, a business, a friendship, even if there's nothing like physical or tangible in the 3D world to gain, or like to split up, you're worthy of receiving your own energy back, your own time back for what you've invested. And so there is, again, this level of deceit that is coming through that's trying to confuse you, trying to control you, to manipulate you, to gaslight you, to keep you up in your head. There is a massive amount of deceit here that needs to be seen by you, viewer, so that you can make an educated and correct decision on the situation or the person. And also, this is an aspect of learning your worth. This is a lesson about learning your worth. It's not just about learning what self-love really means, because this is a part of learning what self-love with really means, but learning self-worth, what you're worth, um, and what your time and your energy is worth, right? And you're valuable, that you may not be seeing that. So you may be wanting to get out of this situation quickly, or to um, end things quickly, or maybe run away from the situation and not deal with it. Whatever it is that's coming up for you, this is like a test, a spiritual test to show you or to guide you into understanding what your worth is, and to get a fair shake or get a fair deal, or um, to separate or get rid of whatever toxicity this is in your life or person, right? That sometimes is fair, just to get your own freedom in a situation. So, uh, let's see here. We've got what will result. So, what's going to result is patience. So, some of you might have an issue with patience, right? Door to romance, and that's awesome. You know, we're talking about high level soulmates, but this can also mean love. When you detach from all that is causing you harm and you begin to understand that that is the the biggest thing that you can do for yourself, the greatest act of self-love is to continuously detach from anything that is toxic from you. When you begin to understand that, you open the doors to your heart because you cannot bring love into your life unless you love yourself. And understanding that takes time, it takes a whole journey to come back to ourselves and remove these masks of not being ourselves, not being our authentic self, right? And so the end result is a massive amount of self love, self respect, and self worth developing within ourselves, which then emanates that energy outwards to bring in high level soulmates. And this may be why some people are envious of you and want to keep you in lack because there may be somebody who is thinking that they would like to step forward, but because they see that maybe you haven't accessed your abundance yet, or they're not sure whether you're financially stable yet, you know, this hater who's in the background may be trying to prevent that from happening so that this doesn't happen, whether it is a female or male, um, does not matter. But this love is what is available to you. These high level, spiritual, emotionally available, rewarding on all level relationships are actually out there, but we need to do the work and take the path. And we need to continue to work on our attachments, right? To detach from anything that we possibly can that is causing us to be blocked or causing us harm in any way, shape, or form. So it's funny that patience came out with that because my guides are saying, like, okay, well, we want to tell you everything, but we're not going to, be patient, but we'll give you a hint, okay? We'll give you a little bit of tea. So, door to romance, loving yourself. And then that energy of loving yourself fully and living in that balanced state allows a high level soulmate if you want it. That's going to be up to you. Each person and path is going to be different. You may never want that again, but again, that might be coming from a wounded place. So if that is the case for you, if you're like, what the heck would I want that for? Then you're still wounded. You're still working on some of these attachments. Okay. So that won't apply for you. But this is potentially in the future for you, should you want it. And appreciation. So, in any real or healthy relationship, um, appreciation is natural because that's coming from a place of love. So is reciprocity, right? So is generosity and balance, and like you might not be used to that. So appreciation is going to come in, but it's going to come in many different ways. I'm hearing this is not just within a relationship, but you're going to be appreciated by others, by you're going to be recognized and appreciated, I heard, by other spiritual warriors, other light beings, your soul tribe, or just by random people on the streets, they're going to see your light shining even more. You're going to be I'm seeing like it's brighter here around her head. You're going to be that beacon of light. Or for some of you who are more in the beginning stages of this path, or maybe in the middle, this is allowing more light in, right? But no matter where you are on your path, this is what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to satisfaction, to love, to abundance, to all things that you have always truly desired but never knew how to access. Your cornucopia, everything you've truly wanted and desired, and a healthy relationship. And that doesn't just have to be romantically. This could be just with your soul tribe, meeting your soul tribe. Um, those who actually appreciate your uniqueness and your genuine nature and your authenticity and love you for that, right? Appreciation. All right, so I'm going to get a Sacred Rebels card by Alana Fairchild. Final advice for the viewers watching this, please, Spirit. There we go. Mm, yeah. This goes back to the goddess of the moon and your intuition, trusting yourself, right? So this is inner trust. Oh, there's number two. There we go. Though it may be cloaked and hidden, within you lies natural magnificence, vibrancy, and true uniqueness. The harder this is for you to believe, the more growth this oracle is offering for you now. Your opportunity for growth lies in letting go of the need to hide yourself from the world and to let go of any doubt about the wonder of what lies within you. This oracle brings you the message that it is time for you to trust yourself and let the real inner you out from behind the veil. You are being assured that you can trust your intuition and, pardon me, I have a nose itch. Trust your intuition and your own sense of things. Sometimes what you sense will be love, and you will open up your heart and move easily towards the source of that love, be it in the form of another person, a new career path, a project which you care deeply about and want to pursue, or a spiritual or creative practice that you are keen to explore. Sometimes that you sense, sometimes what you sense will be more challenging than this and will ask something different of you. It may be that you sense fear and sabotage, fear and sabotage lurking within someone's intentions or in the situations around you. This oracle asks you to trust yourself to find the most authentic and self loving way to deal with that. Perhaps you have drawn this card because you are unnecessarily holding yourself back out of fear, right? Holding yourself back from this, or a lack of belief in your ability to support and care for yourself, or in the importance of your need for self expression in your relationships. The oracle of inner trust comes to you with this guidance. You know what you are doing. You have enough wisdom and intuition to be able to place yourself more fully in the world, to take steps and unhide yourself. Even if you feel you have no clue about what is happening at the broader level in your life, Even if you can't quite see the whole picture of what is taking place within or around you, you still have all the wisdom and intuitive ability you need to take one step at a time and navigate your way through absolutely anything that life brings to your door. If you have been thinking of taking a leap of faith and doing things differently, whether in your personal life or your creative work, then this oracle brings a particular message to trust your instincts and go for it. This oracle comes at a time when the patterns of your life are shifting. You can take advantage of this and leap into an entirely new level of consciousness and experience. This is not a time for self doubt or playing small. It is a time to get in touch with the courage, boldness, and daredevil within, and to take that step, big or small, into the future that is beckoning you forward. You have the wings to fly. Sometimes we don't realize it until we leap over the edge of what we have known and begin to soar into a new life. Now, there is a healing process here, which I will hold up in case you want to pause the video and write it down. It's just at the bottom here. Try to straighten out the page. Please do let me know if these don't come through clearly because my camera is zoomed in. And if that's the case, then I will just continue to say them next time. So leave a comment if they're unreadable completely. Let's see here. Great. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So we're going to get a final message from Rumi to close this reading out. Final message to close this reading out. Please and thank you, Holy Spirit. If all the poisons in the world are poured in us, they are dissolved in the sweetness of our soul. Yeah, that sums it up. No matter how much darkness or how much influence darkness has had on our lives, we all have the possibility to redefine what that love means and to purify our souls. Because beneath all of the experiences that we've had, beneath all of the hurt and the pain, lies your true self, your soul integrated within you, you know? And your true self has never been damaged or never been hurt. And that's why, as a human being, you can purify yourself and be reborn, as they say. That is why your soul can hold the frequency of that love and you can find out and figure out the way back to it, which is the way back home, the way back to your authentic self. And your authentic self and the sweetness of your soul is what allows you to fully accept humanity and witness humanity without judgment, without attachment, without having to sacrifice any part of yourself. And that is the same part who already knows they are abundant, who knows that they have access to all resources, emotionally, mentally, spiritual, physical, right? So I hope this reading found you well today. And I hope that you got something from it, that it resonated with you in some way, shape, or form. If it did, feel free to leave a comment or, help me out, help the channel grow by leaving me a thumbs up. I do really appreciate it. It does help the algorithm to show other people the video. And yeah, is that it? I feel like I'm missing something. Thumbs up, leave a comment. Oh, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to our beautiful community of light where we do things a little differently here. But you know what? You're always welcome. And yeah, I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. I will see you again on Saturday. Bye.